It is, of course, result day in Mizoram, and results for the assembly polls are out and they have stabilized. The people of Mizoram seem to have given their mandate to the Zoram's People Movement, or the ZPM, which has secured 27 out of the 40 seats to register a very comfortable victory. Meanwhile, the Mizo National Front, which is a part of the NDA at the national level, has secured only 10 seats. Key national parties such as the BJP and the Congress have secured 2 and 1 seats respectively. Remember, these assembly elections have been touted as the semi-final for the upcoming Lok Sabha polls. Has what happened in Mizoram today an indication of what will happen in the northeast as far as the Lok Sabha polls are also concerned? What does the performance of the BJP and the Congress say about the holds of the national parties in the northeast? And what exactly do we know about the ZPM, which made its debut in Mizoram in just 2018 when it secured 8 seats? However, it's now managed to oust a political party that has been winning the people's mandate in Mizoram for many decades now. We take this conversation forward with our guests, but before I rope in our experts, my colleague Asawari is standing by to take us through some of the VIP candidates and where exactly are their fates and destinies hanging right now. Asawari, over to you.
Thank you, Devika. Quickly kick-starting this conversation with Zoramthanga of the MNF, who has in fact lost the Aizwal East seat. Of course, quickly we're going to take you through all the VIP candidates and their current situation that is there. The Lal Sota of the Congress party has also lost in the Aizwal West 3 seats. So, of course, after MNF, we are seeing now the Congress has also lost in the Aizwal West 3 seat. Quickly taking a look at some more VIP candidates and their current status. Of course, things looking much brighter for Lal Duhoma of the ZPM, who has in fact won in his specific seat. One Lal Humaka of the BJP has lost the Dampa seat. Quickly taking a look at some more VIP candidates that we are tracking for you on the broadcast. If I could quickly request my team to switch to the next slide. Of course, viewers, here we have Thon Luya of the MNF, who has in fact lost the Tui Chang seat. Devika, over to you.
All right, Savri, so not looking that great there if you're in the BJP, Congress or the MNF in Mizoram today, but the ZPM has truly made its mark in this particular election. We take this conversation forward. Vinita Hariharan of the BJP, Matthew Anthony of the Congress, Himanshu Bhatt with us in the studios, and Val Rema Vantwal, editor Zalin Aizwal Mizoram, also with us. And we also have Ms. Johnson, assistant professor for history at the Pachunga University College. Let me begin this conversation with Ms. Vantwal, if I can. What do you make of the numbers that have come about? Nobody was expecting the ZPM to actually oust the MNF. What do you make of these developments? My question is to Vanna Rema Vantwal. I'm going to have to request our guests to unmute themselves, please. Okay, we seem to be having some trouble there. If I can take the same question with Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson, I'd just like to understand, your perspective on what has happened. Was there an expectation for the ZPM to actually sweep these elections?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes. It is my expectation that the ZPM will win with such majority, because that there is already the ZPM wave. The ZPM wave earlier before the election, I once said that though the party organization of this ZPM is weak.
I think I can hear now.
Sorry, Mr. Vantwal, we'll come to you in just a moment. I'll come back to you. Mr. Thompson, continue, please. Finish your point.
To my understanding, that with regard to the party organization and the individual candidates, that the MNF is strong. the party organization of MNF is strong, and the individual candidates are also good. But there was still the ZPM weight. So I hope that I was expecting that the ZPM will win this election, and at the same time, before the election, that the MNF cannot pay the salaries of the government employees on time, and at the same time, they cannot release the pension funds of the pensioners also. So because of that, I think that these pensioners, the government employees, they will switch. They will vote this ZPM. I was expecting. I was believing. Then at the same time, the organized sector also, I think they will vote for this ZPM. And at the same time, this the first-time voters also, they are expect to vote this ZPM again. At the same time, even during the campaign period, also that the MNF party, they do not have much to offer to the people. They do not have much offer. They do not have much things to offer to the people, to the voters. That also was rather detrimental for this MNF from my point of view.
Okay, all right. Mr. Johnson, I'll come back to you. Mr. Mantwal, I'd asked you the same questions. I believe we can hear you now, so please go ahead. I'd like to understand from your perspective, firstly, were you expecting the ZPM to also sweep the state? And as per you, what really has worked out then in the favor of the ZPM?
It did not come as a surprise to me with the ZPM winning the elections, and this was expected because there is an anti-incumbency against the Congress as well as the ruling regional party, the MNF, which has been going on for a long time. And people have been searching for an alternative. And earlier it used to be the Congress or either the MNF. So then when they found an alternative party which they can run to, and the swing votes, and I believe there are some cross votings also, was collected by the ZPM party. That is how I say it. Yeah. And there is a strong slogan which has been going around, which was left unchecked for a long time, as like none Congress, none MNF. So you try ZPM, which has been going. We will give you a new system. Yeah. So that is what they have promised here. So it is not a surprise for me. And you can, being a journalist, the mood was already there weeks before the election. There, that is what I could say. And what causes the anti-incumbent will depend on many factors. Failure of the main machinery at the government, like you can say that Mizoram is used as a drug trade route. I mean, then and government health insurance failed. Then financial management was not up to the mark. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like Mr. Rembrota has said, government servants have been, as we are consumer state, the government salaries have been coming very late, which has affected the local market also. Yeah. So all this put together, and plus the same old people calling shots and people wanting to see new faces. So I think that is the culmination of the results which we had today. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm going to come back to you in just a moment, sir. Himanshu, but I'd like to get your perspective as well, sir, on what has happened in Mizoram. Of course, the exit polls are also predicted the same, that the ZPM would be, making its way this time around as far as the elections are concerned. But do you think that it was simply an anti-incumbency and a fatigue factor against the MNF and the Congress, which have been alternatively ruling in the state, that resulted in a fresh new political party getting, getting ahead in the elections, or is there something more to it?
There's a little more to that, and 2-3 points I will make. One thing is, in the last election, 2018, the same party, what they call ZPM, had won 8 seats, but they were not a recognized party, so they had all fought as an independent. That's point number one. Point number two is their chief minister-elect today has left Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha in anti-defection law. Still, people have trusted him.
Right.
And last time when they won 8 seats, it was basically urban seats. What you can call an urban seat in a state like Mizoram. So their voter base was very, very clear. Now, in a tri-cornered contest, generally we see in our democracy, where the results come, whoever reaches first. That is, in a tri-cornered contest, maximum you require is 34 votes to win. So when people are disgruntled with the two, that is Congress and MNF, the choice with them left is only third one. Because BJP this time had fielded just 23 candidates. Right. They had not fielded anyone else. This is the first time BJP also fought alone there. They were not in coalition. They were in coalition on a national level with MNF. But I will see, and I can stick my neck out and say, before 2024, there will be another partner in the coalition from Mizoram, which will be the ruling party. Because this financial mismanagement and other things only happen when, on the state level, when you misgovern, and on the central level, the help is coming late.
Right.
And that is what is exactly happening there. So it's basically no surprise that ZPM comes to power. But you see the difference what is happening. And you see even the Telangana results. This is somewhat similar to that.
Right.
And that is what is happening. When one is winning on a winning spree, number 2 and number 3 gets badly decimated. And that is what the results show. I would like to see the vote share of all 4.
Right.
And you will understand that BJP would have got about 8-10% votes, 10-12% votes. Whereas Congress vote share would have gone down. And all eaten up with the hope that new faces will come in ZPM and it will do something better for the state.
So quite interestingly, as we're talking about the vote share, I have the Election Commission website open.
Yes.
The Congress with a 20% vote share has
Just
managed only 1 seat.
Yes. That is where, tri-cornered contest, that is what happens.
Yes.
You have to cross the mark of 34.
The ZPM with 37% vote share is at 27, and the MNF is in fact it's 35%. So it's just a 2% vote share difference, and you can see the
so
difference.
Many seats,
BJP also with its 5% vote share has
two
more seats than the
seats.
Congress, which currently has
exactly
a 20%
like Telangana, AIMIM, which was there in 2018, that is where BJP is today.
Right.
In Mizoram.
So what do you make of the BJP's performance then? Because they can very well say that, listen, we just had 1 seat, at least we managed to make it a 2.
No, they will say 2 and 1 and all, it doesn't make a basic difference. But what difference it will make is, now what will happen in 6 months' time, conveniently, MNF will be ignored and ZPM will enter into NDA fray.
Okay, let's take that up with Vinita Hariharan of the BJP. Vinita Hariharan, interesting perspective there put across by Mr. Bhatt, and I'd just like you to respond. What exactly happened? Why did the BJP decide to, in fact, go solo before the elections this time around? There was nothing announced before the elections, even though MNF is your partner at the national level.
Yes, it was clearly a decision to go solo because, of the strength of the government programs that we've been doing in the Northeast, and we had a lot of faith and hope that the people of Mizoram as well as the Northeast would recognize this, and it's largely recognized across Northeast, all the developmental initiatives, the decrease in insurgency, the overall social and infrastructure development in the Northeast. But very hearty congratulations to the ZPM, and it's emerged as an alternative force, which is appreciable, and it's an indigenous kind of in the sense it's an alternative party that has emerged, led by an ex-IPS officer, etc. So it gives hope to the region, and definitely, this will not stop us. I mean, stop the NDA or the BJP from supporting the Northeast, and our Go Northeast policy will continue, and in integrating the Northeast, the people of the Northeast with the rest of India, which we've been doing for the last 10 years successfully. And so that's about it, about the ZPM and the Northeastern look Northeast, as well as the anti narratives that the Congress was, continuously, narrating in the Northeast. About Manipur and all of that has been completely trounced, and I think people have not listened to all those criticisms that the Congress was going all out and talking against the BJP and talking against the efforts of the BJP and the NDA in controlling the situation in the Northeast.
Okay. Matthew Anthony, I'll take that up with you. What exactly happened to the Congress, going from 5 seats to 1, and the Congress was very confident as far as these elections are concerned. Where exactly has the Congress party gone wrong in its calculations for Mizoram?
Devika, first of all, I take this opportunity to congratulate ZPM for a convincing victory there in Mizoram. And I would also take this opportunity to thank all the workers, leaders, and the voters who voted for Congress across Mizoram. We were confident of a victory. However, this result is not expected as per our expectations, as per our work. However, we did witness a wave or a trend in Mizoram 3 months back when we all landed from Delhi here, and we started camping here and working with the team here. As Marama has rightly pointed out, that there was this kind of a unchecked slogan which was going that, no Congress, no MNF, but give us a chance. It was like, and 70% of the voters are less than say around 40 years of age out of the 8.5 lakhs of population. And there was strong anti-incumbency, and that's where I would take the time to call out the BJP there, because MNF was allied with BJP, and the people of Mizoram had called out the frustrations on CAA, NRC, the Uniform Civil Code, as well as the unrest in Manipur, because MNF was part of BJP. 3,500 crores from the central government was not paid to the state government, and there was ample and more of corruption here. So we thought that we will be able to convince the people of Mizoram. Our campaign was not bad at all. Our promises were not bad at all. However, we find that we were not able to connect with the urban youth in our messaging part of it. That's what, if you really look at a reflective part of it at this point of time, we were not able to connect with the urban youth as well as with the other part of the city or other part of the state, that our messaging and our promising didn't go in the right manner to get it connected. That's where we find that we were not able to make the victories. However, as you rightly pointed out, the 20% vote share is significant enough to have got more than 1 seat. But many seats we have lost very narrow margins because the constituencies are small. So in very narrow margins, we have lost a few constituencies. Then the trend of Mizoram is that once a wave is positioned, then it will kind of sweep. I would recall the 2008 assembly election of Mizoram, where Congress before it was 12, and we kind of managed 32 seats out of the 40.
Yes.
So something like that has happened here. We wish that the ZPM will not fall under the blackmailing threat of BJP from the center, because a lot of funds has to come from the center for the state, because there are no income for the state other than the GST income and very less agricultural income here. So BJP is known for its blackmailing tactics, all the while in the Northeast, splitting, coming in the back end, operating through the back end rather than coming through the straight head, putting the regional parties into a pressure point, by holding the funds from the center. And that's how they operate. And as rightly pointed out, we expect that ZPM will continue its independence and deliver to the people of Mizoram during the time of governance.
Okay, but if the ZPM does decide to, Mr. Anthony, if the ZPM does decide to join hands with the BJP ahead of the national elections next year, will the INDA then cry foul?
INDA is India Alliance, and the Congress is very clear about our secular interest. whatever said and done, whether we won the election or lost the election, if you do a popularity check of, which leader in this country is good for the Northeast to hold the secularist value, it is none other than Rahul Gandhi's name will come up. Whether we won the election or not, we cannot, just because, that we didn't win the election, that doesn't mean that our policies or ideology will change or anything like that. So we will continue to strive and fight for the principles of secularism. We will continue to fight for the principles of love against hate.
So will the opposition bloc then consider joining hands with the ZPM, bringing the ZPM under the opposition fold?
Too early for me to kind of talk about it. It's up to the leadership to decide, because at this point of time, ZPM doesn't need anybody right now in the state of Mizoram because they themselves are on their own. However, the central election is something which we need to see, and how the leadership engages into a conversation and how ZPM engages into a conversation. That is for us to see in the later days, not for us to kind of decide here. That's the leadership to decide, in the later days, in the coming later days.
Okay, I'm going to bring Mr. Bantwal back into the conversation. Mr. Bantwal, I'd just like to understand from your perspective now, with what has happened today, with the ZPM now sweeping the state, how do you see this impacting the larger elections next year? Not just for Mizoram, but taking Northeast as a whole.
Taking Northeast as a whole, I don't think it will make much of a difference as the trend which is going on right now. Because Mizoram, we have only one Lok Sabha member.
Yes.
And if the Lok Sabha election battle are that tight that they are in a position to win by one vote, that I don't know, but that hasn't come to history as of yet in India. So, but I don't think the mood of the people will change. Because it's coming in the 5 months. It's coming after 5 months, and I don't think it will change at all. Yeah. So that is my point of view there.
Okay, all right, Mr. Johnson. Same question to you, sir. And I'd just like to understand, as Mr. Bantwal also pointed out, that Mizoram in the Lok Sabha elections only has one seat, but the Northeast is a bloc. Do you think that this could possibly, the way Mizoram has voted right now, could this possibly reflect next year as well when the Lok Sabha elections take place? And has there been some sort of a lowering, one can say, of trust within central parties, within national parties, after what has happened in Manipur?
I have the same opinion. I share the opinion of Marima. I have no different point of view. But what the reason that the people of Mizoram rejected these BJPs, one reason is that their policy towards the Zhou people in Manipur. So the way the central government deal the Manipur issue is very detrimental detrimental in Mizoram. So with regard to the next election, I do not have other point than Marima.
Okay, I'm going to leave the last word with Himanshu. But Himanshu, what do you make of the, in terms of a larger assessment for next year and taking the Northeast as a bloc? And do you also somewhere feel, after what has happened in Manipur, has the credibility of, say, national parties, of both the BJP and the Congress, and their ability to deal with the crisis, has that taken a bit of a dent?
Yes,
and
it has taken a bit of a dent. Could
it have a ripple effect in the rest of the Northeast?
It has taken a bit of a dent. It will require some trust building there. And this result, and if ZPM doesn't go into a NDA alliance, this will be the first seat that BJP and its allies might lose in Northeast. Because if you see as a bloc, in last general elections, BJP had won everything, almost everything, I think, or 1 or 2 seats here and there. But then this will be the one ZPM can win if it doesn't align with the Congress. Because there, see what they keep on talking about, Congress keeps on talking about the minorities and this and that and all. But a national minority is a majority there. So that's not an issue there. See, this sort of minority is not an issue there. There the issue is basically the youth. And youth wants a change. As someone said from the Northeast, some of my panelists, that 70% are below 40. And I know for sure that the 8 seats in 2018 with the ZPM, without the banner of ZPM, were all urban seats. And you have a young population wanting a change will always welcome such parties. We see that example here in Delhi 10, 12 years back.
Right.
AAP was welcomed. So this is a tendency across the country. And so what I see is the trust building as early as it is done is better for the ruling party, but it has an effect. Whether we like it or not, neighboring state, Manipur, incidents, and the way they were expanded. I would call it expanded, rather than going to the exact causes for that incident. People have made big things about that, and that is what dents the image of Northeast. And their coming into mainstream was almost certain, very near. But such incidents or such thinking, makes a doubt in the minds of those people, Northeast people. And that is what stops them. See, integration has to be taking place from both sides. And that integration will only take place if a real trust is developed.
Absolutely. I'm running out of time, but I thank all of our panelists for joining us to help us analyze what really has happened in Manipur, where the ZPM, which has been a very recent, the youngest entrant as far as the political fray is concerned, has managed to actually sweep just the second time around that they have contested elections as a full-fledged political party.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.